I first of all remind the Taoiseach that the elected representatives of the people, all of the people, are in this House, and that the Taoiseach is not free to run the government as he sees fit. He is free to run the government in accordance with the authority that he derives from this House and in response by way of accountability to this House for his actions. Now, can I ask him specifically about what I think is the most important aspect of the country's present economic problems, and that is the problem of jobs and job losses. Dáil, 1900. Dublin Bus, 290. Costal, 300. Amman, 120. Superquin, 400. Dublin Bus, 320. Signa, 180. Britvic, 145. Galmoy, 220. Ulster Bank and First Active, 750. Local authorities, 1,000. They're just the big job losses that were announced since the 1st of January this year. In addition to that, we have those who have lost their jobs in shops, restaurants, architects' practices, solicitors' practices, and those who have lost their jobs on building sites. On the day of the general election, 18 months ago or thereabouts, there were 154,000 on the live register. That's double now, and some commentators are saying it's going to be as high as 420,000 by the end of this year. I have two questions for you, Taoiseach. Firstly, can you tell the House what is the total cost to the Exchequer of the 120,000 extra people who went onto the live register in the course of the last year, between social welfare payments, secondary benefits and lost tax revenue? And secondly, can you tell the House what is your estimate of the additional cost it will be to the Exchequer if unemployment rises to 420,000 by the end of this year, between social welfare payments, secondary benefits and lost tax revenue? Well, that's an amazing reply, Ceann Comhairle. We were told that the Taoiseach and the government have been preoccupied for the past number of weeks with the state of the public finances, that we've had day-long meetings of the Cabinet, two-day meetings of the Cabinet, all kinds of meetings about the state of the public finances. The two questions that I put to the Taoiseach are fairly simple, and he hasn't been able to reply to either of them. And I'm utterly astonished that in the present economic circumstances, government looking at public finances, biggest economic problem that's happening is job losses, that the Taoiseach, the head of government, cannot tell the House even a ballpark figure for what is the total cost to the Exchequer of rising unemployment. No, I'll tell you, he did. He did, yes. No, he did. He did. He gave me a back of the envelope figure. He gave me a back of the envelope. He gave me a back of the envelope figure. Well, let's follow it. Let's follow it. Let's follow it because I heard it. I heard it. I heard it. He said for every 100,000 extra people, it was costing in and around 1 billion in social welfare payments. So 120,000, that's 1.2 billion. Add in secondary benefits. Factor in the loss of tax revenue. We are talking, ballpark, somewhere 2 to 2.5 billion for the 120,000 people who have lost their jobs so far under this administration, and presumably you can double that if 120,000 lose it again in the additional lose over the course of next year. Now there is your public finance problem. There is your big gap. There's where the money is being lost because people are losing their jobs. You have a problem in the public finances. Now, you haven't been able to tell the House with any accuracy what is the extent of that problem and what your projection for it is into the future. Secondly, what you are saying about putting people back to work. In fact, you haven't said anything about putting people back to work. You've talked in very general terms about a macroeconomic plan in response to Deputy Kenny, about micro initiatives, about a national effort. We've seen none of this, though. We're supposed to have a debate starting tomorrow morning about the economy. And the government has produced no plan, no strategy, no proposals. You told us your big idea was that you were going to have discussions with the social partners. I'm all for discussions with the social partners. Have been suggesting that you have those discussions since last October. You convened a meeting of the social partners last Friday. No minister showed up, and you had no proposals for them. And apparently you gave them some kind of a framework document today which contains no specifics. Now, Taoiseach, I think the people of the country understand that we are in a real economic crisis, that there is an emergency here, that people are losing their jobs big time, that measures need to be taken to address the problem. And the difficulty that we have is that as head of government, even after a 6-week break to enable you to do it, you still haven't brought forward the proposals, and you can't even give the House basic information as to the cost of job losses and unemployment in the economy.